Hello and welcome to 2023 Governorship Election. My name is Damlola Ogunshaki, and joining me right now, to discuss about the election and of course the results coming in is Mr. Mayowa Oludare. He's a publisher of Global Financial Digest. Good evening, Mr. Mayowa.
Good evening, and how are you today?
I'm very fine. I'm sure you've seen,
Yes,
how the process, everything, the election went, and the collation results are coming in. What do you have to say about the election and the whole
yes,
controversies and everything?
yes. Thank you very much. For my own observation of this election, it seems to have been the unusual election since that I've been observing election, and I assume that with the signing of the 2022 electoral law and the rest and the promises by INEC, ordinarily we expect a smooth election. We expect a smooth conduct of election, but across the nation, particularly in Lagos, which has been a focal point for every observer, everyone who's during election, there have been one incident or the other, one crisis or the other, one violence or the other. And the election this year taking a different dimension, ethnics, religions, and bigotries dimension, which is for me is set Nigerian back more than 20 years. Because we have not seen this kind of more raking in the conduct of the election. We have not seen this kind of a desperation by politicians to capture power. This time around, it's once we thought that we are going to have a smooth election, a free and fair election where the IRF and Beavers will checkmate some other malpractices. We have seen a different dimension brought about by politicians to this election, and really mad the result of the election and the credibility of the election. That's all in my own perspective, my observation and perspective.
All right. The election that you observed, what does this say about our democracy, the type of democracy we practice in Nigeria?
Yeah, of course, it's a minus to democracy in Nigeria. It has come in a different dimension. I was having discussion with my wife and my children when we came back to church today on the dimension, especially in Lagos. Dimension, I'm sure it happened in some other part of this country, but I'm not familiar with Lagos exactly because it's closer home. The dimension of ethnic dimension to it is so appalling, and it probably there we are talking of unity of Nigeria, and that we are not yet a nation of people. We are called a major division. My fear is that after the election, what will happen to that deep, deep suspicion, hatred that the project adopt between the Igbos and the Yoruba? How do we mend it? How do we heal it? It's going to be very difficult to build bridges going forward because politician has already damaged trust among friends, among colleagues, among neighbors, and they have done so irreparable damage to the unity of this country. I've read so much bias spill out by people that ordinarily you expect not to do that. Other people you expect that they have been mature, have been exposed, and have been a cosmopolitan in their own outlook. I read bias spill out against one tribe or the other. And it tells me something that we are not yet a nation and we're not practicing democracy. Democracy are the government of the people to the people. It does not discriminate where you come from. As long as you are living in a particular location, you are expected to vote. In a situation where people are discriminating against tribe, if you are from this particular tribe, you cannot vote. Then that's not democracy. For me, it's not democracy. It has a question mark on our democracy in this country. And I'm sure the General Committee are watching, and they're probably going to do something about the project that have created this dichotomy, has created this hatred in our country.
All right, the candidates who feel cheated, they're already telling them to go to court if they don't like it. Now, the controversy surrounding a presidential election is still there. After the result was announced, they told the other candidates to go to court. Now, is this now the new style?
Unfortunately, this is going to court. Yes, that's the way to resolve political differences and malpractices. Court is supposed to be arbitral to mediate between it and give up probably the right perspective to the result of the election. That is the ordinary way. Even in advanced country, in advanced world, people no, I mean, submit to the third leg of the government, the judiciary, the parliamentary, and the executive. But unfortunately, in this election, is a new dimension. People have committed crime. People have deliberated, manipulated system, and I said go to court. It shows that they deliberately don't go to court because, of course, a lot of people have lost credibility and lost faith in our court today. What I'm saying is that beyond the issue of court educating over without necessarily prejudice what's going to come out of the court session coming forward, but beyond that is what is physically available to us. What are the role of the security agency, for example? The security agents were there when people are being attacked, when some people are moving around with deadly instruments to prevent some people from going and vote. We are expected to have these people, this agency of government protecting lives and property, but they are nowhere to be found. Those are the things we are talking about. We're not talking about the day after you are done, after the damage has been done. They say go to court. Court could not educate on those issues, on those areas. We have areas where the people are going about, deliberately people, suppressing votes and intimidating people. These are areas that the court cannot really educating upon. And these are areas that ought to have been handled by the executive who have the control of the security agency, who will have arrested the thugs that are going around, the people that are harassing people, that are destroying ballot papers and the rest. These are areas the executive ought to have handled. So this thing, you cannot take them to court because there's no physical evidence can show. Even can show video, but how did they affect the issue? So court cases is just like you are just trusting on the judiciary fait accomplished because you have done the damage already.
All right, there were cases of violence that led to deaths here in Lagos, River State, and even Sokoto State. What do you have to say about this? I mean, people came out to vote, and as a result, they were injured, they were beaten, they were threatened, and it resulted to low voter turnout at the election.
It's a failure of the part of the government, so to say. Like I said, the government security apparatus are supposed to be deployed to protect people. So you are failing that dimension, that area of function to protect Nigeria. Then they have failed Nigeria, they have failed us. We have our confidence in them that if you go out to vote, nobody will disturb us, nobody will harass us, nobody will intimidate us because the soldiers, the police are there deployed to protect us. But unfortunately, what do we see? They are nowhere to be found. They are not on their duties, either deliberately or otherwise. We don't know. But the fact is that they cannot protect those who are ought to be protected. And those are their functions, those are their duties. So if they fail in that function, they are failing Nigeria because they are being managed, they are being paid by taxpayer money. And if I cannot go freely out to vote for the candidate of my choice because some talks are on freehold to destroy, to intimidate, to suppress the vote, then something is wrong with our system. That means our system has failed. That means our system has failed us as Nigeria, which we ought to have free access to election venue to vote for the beauty of democracy is that the majority will have their way. The minority will have their say, but the majority will have their way. But the way where the minority is intimidating majority and prevent them from having their way, that is not democracy. And because we have the instrument of government, that is security agents, that are supposed to, in any way, to go ahead, and protect the people. And they are not doing that. So if they are not doing that, then they have failed the people. That's an unfortunate thing.
All right. Before the election, this governorship election at state, as is our assembly election, after the results were not uploaded on IREF during the presidential election, we were told that it was because of the glitches and different things that happened during the presidential election, and that raised the hope of people up, for the governorship election. But yesterday during the election, a video went viral. In the video, an INEC ad hoc official was seen saying that they were not going to upload the results on the IREF, and that's happened also in most local governments in Nigeria. So, what do you have to say about the fact that this moment were promised this, the next moment another thing happened?
Yeah, I think I saw that video myself, and like we said, it's unfortunate that such incident could happen in a democracy like ours, and it shows that the system has failed Nigeria. The expectation was that the result will be uploaded directly. So I'm doing in fail to upload the result from the polling unit. That anything can happen between the polling unit and the collation center. A number of things could happen. And like I said earlier too, don't forget that even when in the place where you uploaded the result from the polling unit, don't forget that we have experienced some suppression, intimidation that have prevented some people to vote. That ought not to happen. That's part of rigging itself. And to compound the situation now, you have the situation where the INEC will not upload directly on time, and go back to between their polling unit and wherever they are uploading. Up to today, they have uploaded about 60 to 70% of the result, which they ought to have done immediately after the end of the election. So these are part of the plot to manipulate. Because if they are not, if it's not about manipulation, why do you have to delay it? What's stopping them from doing what they ought to do? What's stopping them from assuming there was no network in those areas where they are voting, maybe rural area? Why can't they upload it immediately after they go to their station where they have a system that can upload it? These are things that we're talking about. These are the anomalies in the election. These are things that cause distrust among the populace. Nobody will trust the system again. Whatever you do thereafter, people will not trust your judgment because the suspicion will be there that probably they have done something behind to manipulate the election.
All right,
and that's why we.
So let's talk about this one now. Before the election, there was a video that went viral, and that showed MC Oluomo, where he said those people, if they're not voting, Yachukudi should stay inside and they should not come out to vote. And of course, later on, he released another video with this Yachukudi who came out to debunk the woman and said she's Yachukudi, and was just joking. And the police also said that we should take it as a joke, like MC Oluomo said. But yesterday during the election, there were videos that also went viral where that showed some thugs threatening the people, telling them that if they're of a particular tribe, they should not vote. Do you think that video that went viral, that video of MC Oluomo, in a way, have any impact on the election?
Definitely, especially in Lagos, where this thing happened. The joke is on the police, the joke is on the government. Because ordinarily, MC Oluomo and all the agents ought to have been behind bar by now in a decent society. But the joke is on the government, the joke is on the our security agent, and the whole world is watching us. He's watching how we are doing it. The videos of Oluomo telling people, we have seen during the presidential election. There was a video too that went viral when he himself went to the police booth and told people that if you are not voting for APC, to go stay away from the And people, was that one to a joke? That was not a joke. So, and the police understand this, and people in the police officer are telling them that it's a joke. Then the joke is on them, and it shows they are the same as failed Nigeria. And probably we should revert to something else rather than we are practicing democracy. That's not democracy. If you are saying some people cannot vote, we are discriminating people, and non-state actor can have the boldness, the temerity to say openly to people that you cannot vote because you are not from this area. It doesn't align with any constitution. There's no constitution that backs those statements. And our security agent cannot pick those people up and question that person. And that's why they derive his power to do that. And if he cannot do that, then we just probably throw our hands up and say, look, the country has failed every one of us. It's unfortunate. Whoever won the election, we know it's not unfair. It's not a fair tough. It's not a free. It's not a fair election. It was definitely regardless of the result we are seeing today, based on what happens, based on all the and the government has not been able to do anything. Even the president-elect, even the president of this country, will not condemn such intimidation. Then we just say that the election is not the will of the people. It's just the will of the politicians. That's what I would say.
All right. If we let all this thing that happened, if we let it slide, what implication will it have on the 2027 election?
definitely, if you don't change our way, a lot of people will not come out to vote. If you look at the turnout on yesterday election, it's lower than what we recorded during the presidential election. During the presidential election, there are many people who are enthusiastic. They believe the INEC promises of uploading on real time. They believe the promise of the Electoral Act that will tighten up manipulation. People are expecting total overhaul of our electoral system. So they are expecting a different dimension of the electoral process. But unfortunately, a lot of people are disappointed with the outcome of the process because this process was bad, administration was not according to what we are promised, was not according to the student rules. So many people were yesterday were saying they lost hope, they lost confidence in the electoral system, in the Nigerian state as a whole. And if you don't remedy our way, going forward, people will no longer participate in the electoral system because they won't have confidence that if I vote, even number one, they won't allow me to vote. Even if I vote, my vote will not count. So why do I waste my time? I knew people say, no, I'm not going to waste my time go and queue to vote yesterday because of what happened during the president primary, the National Assembly election. And these are things we are going to be seeing. That means the loss of confidence in the electoral process, confidence in the governance. That means whoever is governing is not governed by the will of the people because people have lost confidence in them. And it's going to create a lot of resentment. We're going to see people agitating for pulling out of this country. We're going to see people now, more agitation, more sectional education that say, let us balkanize this country and divided it because we cannot find a place. If you cannot find a place in Lagos and in the southwest of Nigeria, then they will ask for their own. Let us why don't you divide this country so that everybody can go their own way. So we cannot work together as same people. So these are things we are going to see. These are the implications for our country, for our development. And yes, if there's no unity, development will be slowed down, if not halt, because people will be scared to invest in an unstable environment, in a place where there's division, there's a dichotomy. A lot of people will be scared. A lot of people will be moving their investment from that. I knew a lot of people already plan to move their investment from Lagos and the southwest to their part of the country. And this is going to lead to job loss. And we are going to have a lot of economy that you are supposed to be buoyant because the government will going to lose its revenue. Because if business leave Lagos and go elsewhere, the taxes they are paying to government will move to elsewhere with them. And government will lose the revenue, and money they ought to use for development will no longer be there for them. So these are it has financial implication for the country. It have all around implication for this country, and that is what we are going to get going forward. As we mend our way, and we should have a change of mind. We really want a nation that works, will work for everybody, regardless of where you come from.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ludari Mayowa, for joining me this evening.
Thank you very much. And have a lovely day today.
Yes, and you too. Yeah, and that's Mr. Oludari Mayowa. He's a publisher of Global Financial Digest. And of course, he just spoke about the just concluded governorship and the state houses of assembly election. Now, to get more of our top stories and things going on around the world, you can follow us on all our social media platforms showing on your screen on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Our WhatsApp number is also displayed on your screen. I'm Damnola Okunshake. Have a lovely evening.